This is yet another one we can see that if you substitute the 0, that we'll have division by 0. And in fact, in the top, if you have h as a 0, then this is just going to be a 1 minus 1. So we've got 0 divided by 0, undetermined form, which is an indication we need to do algebra. And with the algebra, the main goal is try to eliminate whatever it is that's causing trouble. So in here, the division by 0 is causing trouble. Well, if we didn't have this radical, and we had just h plus 1 minus 1 divided by h, then the 1's could cancel, and once the 1's cancel, we would have h divided by h, which is equal to 1. So in other words, we could get the problem, which is that h in the denominator, to cancel. So how can we get rid of the square root? Well, one idea is squaring, which is not a good idea in this case, because it's a good idea to square in algebra to get rid of a radical when you've got an equation like this, and you're able to square both sides of the equation. That's legal algebra. With this, we don't have the other side to square, so squaring's out of the question. The other idea is that a radical times itself, which is really what the squaring is doing, that'll get rid of the radical. And so, in short, what we do is multiply this by its conjugate, which is the square root, and then use plus 1 instead of minus 1. So in algebra, you have to do the same thing to both sides of an equation. With a fraction, you have to do the same thing to the numerator and denominator. So we need to multiply here by the conjugate that we used in the numerator. So we're going to get the limit as h goes to 0. The denominator, don't multiply it out. Just write h times the square root of h plus 1 and then plus 1. Because the whole goal is to get rid of this h, so there's no sense in multiplying it through when we would then just have to factor it in order to get it to cancel. And then as far as multiplying conjugates, you only need to multiply the first term times the first term, which is going to get rid of the radical, leaving only h plus 1. And the middle term and the outer terms are the same except they're the opposite sign, so they're going to cancel. So the only other thing you need to multiply is the last one times the last one, which is going to be a negative 1. And then this turned out exactly as I had wanted. Get rid of the radical. Now the 1's can cancel. Leaving just the h. And the denominator, leave it as it is for one more step. Now that the 1's are gone, we can divide by h in the numerator and denominator. And now that the problem has been eliminated, that was causing the division by 0, try substituting a 0 again. So we're going to get a 1 for the numerator and a square root of 0 plus 1, and then plus a 1, which is a grand total of 1/2. Quick check of the calculator. So here's the original function before I did any algebra. And then take a look at the graph. And as we're close to 0 for the x value, or over here for the h value, then the function seems to be at a height of 1/2. So if we're close to 0, like 0.01, then the y value, sure enough, is close to 1/2. And on the other side, if I used negative 0.01, it's close to 1/2. So that seems to be right.